Hi, Mrs. Hannah. How are you?
Hi, Ann. How are you? Have a seat.
Thanks so much. Go ahead.
Well, last meeting we had together, we had to make a decision based
Yes.
on an offer that you were going to come back to us with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the bottom line, this problem has become very stressful to my husband and I, and we just wanted to be taken care of ASAP.
I understand completely, and upon our last meeting, we agreed upon a 12 to 15-minute meeting. I just kind of want to make sure that that's still okay with you.
I'm okay with that as long as it stays within the
Yeah.
15 minutes because I have to go pick up the children.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to take these 15 to kind of make sure that I just fully satisfy every single need that you're going to list for me. And then from there, we'll just get started, okay?
Perfect. Go ahead.
All right, so when we talked in our last meeting, we discussed two major concerns. One being the dissatisfaction that you have with your lawn because of the brown spots that you are experiencing. And the second would be the tension that you have with your neighbors. Am I right so far?
Yes, it has become a daunting task because of these stubborn brown spots on the lawn. My husband also informed me that our value in the home could be affected dramatically by this as well. So there's also weighing on our mind.
So it's safe to say that this is also a major concern for you. I mean, to lose a lot of value on your initial investment, I can't imagine.
Definitely, given the fact that you do spend a lot of money on homes.
Okay, all right.
Well, right now, I'm looking at our yard and we know for a fact that, it just deters anybody who have any interest because of the image of the lawn. I just really need to take care of it as soon as possible. And this is a big issue.
I can see that it's definitely affecting you.
Sure.
So is there any other concerns that you would like me to know upon, entering this meeting?
Well, like I said, I mentioned to you earlier, getting rid of these brown spots is the biggest concern.
Okay.
Everything else is, can be handled.
Okay. So I know that you're a little unfamiliar with our company as of right now. So what I would like would be for you to kind of just let me know if you have any questions during this explanation. And would that be okay if you just kind of let me know?
Sure.
All right. And if I have some questions for you to kind of understand your situation a little bit better, would you mind if I ask them as they come to my mind?
Sure, as long as, it doesn't terribly get into too much details.
Well, in order to understand your specific situation, I would need to know things such as, the origins of the problems, the dates when they occurred, things like that. Things of that nature. Okay. And do you mind that I take some notes just kind of to make sure I have every single detail written down?
I believe that's the only effective way of you understanding the problem that we have and correct the situation.
Okay, great. So if you come to this point in the meeting where you feel that I can't help you and that our services are not going to help you out, could you let me know?
Sure.
And if I realize that this task would not be something that I would be able to properly assess, do you mind if I tell you?
I would really prefer that.
And if it seems that we're matching in points and ideas, do you think it'd be possible to discuss maybe in the last couple of minutes in our meeting, our next step forward?
Yes, but I would absolutely expect you to honor your agreement. Is that okay?
I mean, that is a very good question. Have you had any personal experience where a business prospect or whatever may have you, did not honor their side?
Well, absolutely. When you have an issue, you bring in companies and they give you ideas and philosophies, but not all of them are correct or accurate and suit our needs. Yeah. So we never really give a yes or a no, or even, we're always in that maybe until we see something solid and concrete.
I understand that completely. And in that case, I will let you know. And if it doesn't work out, I mean, we can always part as friends with the intention maybe later on, if you do have a recurring issue that we can solve, maybe that'll be a time that we could probably address a different issue that you may have.
I would appreciate that very much.
Okay, so as of right now, we have discussed these three concerns. And which of these three would you say was probably the most important to you?
Well, to be honest with you, again, it's that brown spots on the lawn. These are very big concerns because it does make our lawn look ugly, and they've grown into be 6 inches in diameter. That's not something small, and it's quite ugly.
Yeah, unattractive. I can imagine. So that's kind of that's your initial problem. So how have these brown spots affected you?
Well, when you own a property, you are spending a lot of money. You're putting initial investment, and given the economy, today's economy, you're expecting at least for that investment to grow somewhat, or at least stay at its level, not to lose money because of something as simple as brown spots on the lawn.
Yeah.
It's a curb appeal issue.
So I think that all of your problems, I think it's safe to say all your problems are stemming from these brown spots.
I would say, yeah. I mean, the house has, lost outside appeal.
Yeah.
Like I said, the curb appeal is very crucial when anybody walks through the front of any house.
And you mentioned
the first thing that you see is the brown spots.
Yes.
People are not going to spend quite a bit of money on a property that looks ugly the minute they look at it.
Yeah, definitely. And you also mentioned the neighbors as well. And you said that the neighbors were looking down on it. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from. So when did you first notice these spots?
About 6 weeks ago, it started out, and there were 1 or 2 spots, and my husband and I noticed it, and he tried to fix it, thinking that it was going to be something that he can contain, but it's just gotten worse. That's all.
Okay. And I understand your concern completely. So what have you done that can help me out so I can figure out what you've done to try and resolve the issue at hand as of right now?
Well, first of all, my husband, he did look at it. He noticed that there were certain kind of bugs, so he decided to go and get some kind of insecticide.
Yeah.
He used chemicals. He used nothing major. But we realized that with all that, it didn't do anything. On the contrary, it did the opposite. It grew, and we wound up having more spots.
Well, I can't imagine. So how much
It's
did all of
frustrating.
that? How much did all that cost you?
It's somewhere between $200 and $300, in actual cash. And not to mention, one Saturday my husband had to, instead of working, he had to work on the lawn.
Yeah.
And don't forget, properties are supposed to be something that, like I mentioned earlier, supposed to grow in value and has a return on investment. We do have kids that they will be going to college, and soon enough, money is an important matter in this case, and I can understand. And down the road, whatever's left, we need something for our retirement as well.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we maintain this property and make it look good now and for future prospects should I need to sell it.
Okay. And it seems to have had a pretty significant impact on you, right?
Well, yeah, it's like I mentioned, it's dramatic, given the fact that this property right now is worth about $450,000 or so. So, given what we saw, it looks like just because of these brown spots, we could be losing somewhere between $70,000-$80,000, and instead of putting the property for $450,000, by the time you get an offer, it would be somewhere in the $430,000s, $430,000s or below. By the time you pay commission and what have you, you're coming home with practically nothing.
Okay. And you think that these brown spots would be that significant to lower, the price of that investment that much?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We know because we do look at current properties comparable to ours. We also have realtors that are friends of ours. That gives us ideas of what these things could be doing to the value of the property.
And what in regards to, I know you mentioned earlier something about pre-owned grass. Could you elaborate a little bit on that for me?
Well, it's turf, it's sod, they call it sod, which is basically something that I would have to do should I need to sell that property very quickly. One of the first things I would have to do is rip the entire lawn and just bring sod in.
Yeah.
And sod is quite expensive, so it will cost me quite a bit to fix the front yard just because of that.
How much do you think it would cost you?
Somewhere between $2,500 to $3,000, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, especially when you had just mentioned, your kids are going to college and the economic standing as of right now. I definitely understand. So how quickly would you like to take action?
As soon as possible, because as I mentioned to you earlier, I would like to sell this house and move into something smaller once the children are ready to go to college, and which is going to be happening shortly.
Okay, so you're telling me that you can lose over $70,000 to $80,000 in costs in your return on your investment just because of these brown spots.
Absolutely.
Now, how does that sit with you?
It makes me really upset. Like I said, it just this is something that's your property. your home is an investment as well as a place to live in. So you have to make sure that you maintain and take care of it. And in order to take care of it, it will cost me this much. And it would be sad to lose this kind of money given the economic standings and our age and
Yes.
what we're expecting to get back.
Yes. So, okay, so let's talk budget. Budget-wise, how do you feel?
As long as it doesn't break the bank, so to speak.
Okay, can you give me a range and a time frame possibly that you would feel best, describing for what you see for your lawn?
Well, I'm expecting you within a couple of weeks to be at least seeing some major improvement as far as the grass regrowing in these areas, okay? As far as investment, as far as money-wise and what we're going to be spending, I'd like to see what you are offering me. This way I could kind of like make a decision based on that.
Okay. And do you have any objections to the type of chemical that we would use?
I prefer, given the fact that I do have pets, I would prefer that it would be environmentally friendly and the chemicals would not be too harsh.
Okay. All right. So you understand that given the time frame that you are giving me as of right now, which is a couple of weeks, there is a certain amount of money that is expected for that specific type of time frame. I mean, it's not long term, so it's going to be, a little bit more of a strenuous process. So what's a good number for you? Like 500 to 1,500, or,
let's say up to $1,000. Okay. I think we can agree on something like that.
I just wanted an estimate so I could work with you. But how are the decisions made is my next question.
Well, as of right now, my husband is quite busy. He has a lot on his plate, so I get to make a lot of these decisions.
Okay.
We don't have to wait for him to come back and give us a yes or a no. I will make these decisions if you give me the proper numbers.
Okay, so you are the initial decision maker.
At this moment, yes.
And your time frame is 2 weeks.
Yes, I prefer 2 weeks, but I can go as far as a month, but no more than that.
All right. And if we found a solution for you in a couple of weeks, would that help your decision?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And for me, the next question I wanted to ask you was, what is your primary criteria as of right now?
Well, as of right now, I would say sticking with the budget. That's number one. And number two, to make sure that these brown spots are dealt with expeditiously.
And the time frame as well. And how about the chemicals?
Well, we already addressed that.
Yes.
The chemicals would have to be environmentally friendly.
Okay, so based on our meeting, it seems like this will work and that I will be able to satisfy your needs. Now, I will try to work with your budget of $1,000, but what happens if I go over?
I would prefer, like you said, to stay within budget.
Okay.
But I would not object if you do come a little bit above.
Okay.
But there's a possibility it may come in lower.
Definitely, there's always a possibility. What would you cap that budget at if I go over?
I would say maximum $100 either direction.
Okay. So as of right now, the inferences that I'm getting from you are that you are the decision maker. You want it to be done in 2 weeks. You want it to be environmentally friendly products because of your dogs. And you want something that is effective and strong. And you want these brown spots gone, correct?
Yes.
And with your permission, would you mind if I show up with a proposal for you maybe tomorrow?
I think that would work very well.
Well, that's perfect. I'm going to go and take a look at the lawn right now, kind of assess the situation, and we will pick up in the next meeting, okay?
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure talking with you.
Same thing.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.